Hello and welcome to the Joint Commonwealth podcast. I'm your host, Robert Van Pen, and I'm joined by the founder and CEO of the Joint Commonwealth Fund, Shunyuan.
Hi, I'm Shunyuan, the founder of Joint Commonwealth Fund, or JCF.
So, for the first episode of the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about what it is we're doing and what kind of content we'll be covering in this and future episodes. We're going to be discussing the wealth gap, some possible ways to fix it without government intervention, crypto, blockchain technology, and financial education for the rest of us, among other topics. First, let's hear a little bit about where Joint Commonwealth came from. So, Shunyuan.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Robert. So, Joint Commonwealth Fund actually started in 2018, but the precursor, the story, actually started much earlier than that. I was born in Taiwan, but was educated in U.S. For 5 years in my secondary school. And one of the first things I saw when I went to U.S. that really kind of shocked me was that there were, homeless people, like in all major U.S. cities. New York, Boston, that's where I lived, and, Los Angeles. In U.S., United States, it's such a rich country, compared to Taiwan. It says per capita income twice that of Taiwan. In fact, today it still does. So, but in Taiwan, we did not see any homeless people on the street back then. So that kind of really shocked me. And it kind of puzzled me and has been on my mind for a long time, like, why do we have this huge gap? U.S. is such a wealthy, rich country, and yet there are people who are living on the streets, barely having enough to eat, to dress. Years later, I came across a book called, Redesigning Distribution. It's a book about universal basic income. So that's when I first got into contact with the concept of UBI, or basic income, It really kind of caught my attention because I thought, yes, this can be an answer to this poverty or wealth gap problem. And even better, it actually helps not just the poor. It also helps those who may not have much wealth, but who might want to desire the freedom, to travel around the world, to maybe take care of their elder or young children, become an artist, or maybe start a business. Like we all know, entrepreneurs in the first early years are typically quite poor. So that's when I started to become really interested in UBI. But we also know that this is something that can only be realized through governments. And to wait for that, well, we all know how governments work. There's a long debate, usually, especially in democratic governments like, U.S., Taiwan, and many other countries. So even though I knew UBI is a good thing, it's probably not my business, at least not until, years later. So in 2017, that's the year when Bitcoin went from 1 Bitcoin to 1,000 US dollar to almost 20,000 US dollar. So that really caught my attention. And I started to wonder, whether this is something that's true and real. And if so, can this actually be used to solve the wealth inequality problem or to make the whole society better? So that's how actually JCF started.
All right, thanks, Shunyuan. If you like this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll work hard to give you more awesome content in the future. Thanks again. I'm your host, Robert Van Patten.
I'm Shunyuan.
And we hope you'll join us next time on the Joint Commonwealth podcast.